We're here
Yay!
after what happened last time.
Oh my Jesus.
I I I have to admit that that was something else, and as we have both said on like several occasions now since I've been watching you in the process of making this VTuber, and then us just trying to get this thing up and running, we have pretty much both come to agreement that we can't like rag on professional VTubers who have a lot of stuff that happens on their streams.
No. No. I mean, and they have a professional setup, not this cobbled together mess that I have.
But the fact that it was just so much effort. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, yes, they should have a better setup, but there's several different programs running to make this entire thing work. So, to be fair,
Oh, yeah. Um, at,
and if you're not really tech savvy to begin with, even having the best equipment in the world is not going to help you.
no. Um, and I have, like, I would say, like, intermediate equipment. I probably could have a better webcam, but most of my issue with my VTuber right now is that I'm on a computer that doesn't have NVIDIA tracker because it's from 2014. Mac.
I mean, it's a Mac. Would it even do they even use in the video?
They do, and as far as I know, the new ones do. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, and this would, and the thing is that it's the same price that I paid back in 2014 to get a new one anyway. Um, so that part doesn't bother me. The thing that bothers me is that right now, it I couldn't use Live 2D, and that I used my Mac for all of my drawing needs. So,
I mean, that's the point of having a Mac.
mm-hmm.
You can bitch and moan about Apple all you want. There's a reason why in certain creative professionals they use a Mac because it's still better.
Yes.
I remember my parents asking my little sister if she wanted a Mac. But my parents were also the same people that hoped that my sister, which is really weird thing to say because I'm Asian, I'm Chinese, but my parents were hoping that my sister would go into the arts. They were very encouraging of it. They would have been absolutely fine if she decided to go into design or fine arts or whatever.
Yeah. My family was befuddled but supportive.
I think part of it was because because of Dad's work, he got to see the change in technology and what that could mean for creatives. And I think that excited him a lot in the 90s and early 2000s. Have I told you the story about how my sister got her first tablet?
Oh, yes, but you should say it because the people listening wouldn't have heard it. I like that story.
So, so just for background, my dad's an engineer, and he had for many, many years designed satellites. That's was his field, microwaves specifically. And the thing you have to understand about the 90s and early 2000s is because the technology was changing a lot, often what these large tech companies would do is they would upgrade all their hardware and then sell all their old hardware at a loss to at least make some money back.
Oh,
And so they would get all this amazing new technology if you consider it for the time. And one of the things they got was a professional tablet, and that makes sense because normally you would have to draw it by hand, and then if you had to make it digital, you would have to like upload it and all the usual things as any artist who uses hard mediums know all the drawbacks of having to design a satellite with, pencil and paper. Um, but one of the things that his company found was a lot of the old engineers didn't have the spatial awareness to draw on a tablet and stare up at a screen because this was before you could have a tablet visual and draw on it. And that kind of leap between that spatialness was just really hard for engineers my dad's age. And my dad was probably, oh goodness, he was probably in his 40s at the time this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe slightly younger, but at least around there. So there was this professional tablet, really huge one, the stuff that would cost hundreds of dollars, that wasn't ever getting used. And so when they upgraded, because it wasn't ever getting used, they sold it at a loss. For reasons I still don't know, Dad decided to buy it for a kick, so he must have gotten it really, really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Because this wasn't even something Dad would use, but it sat in the basement, and at the time, Jules was just learning, because those were all the tutorials for Photoshop was happening
Oh yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
So she was reading all these tutorials, and she saw this tablet that was just collecting dust in the basement, and she asked Dad, "Oh, can I use that? Can you set that up for me?" And my dad was sort of, I guess, a bit bemused, but he was like, "Yeah, sure, I will set it up because no one else is going to use it." And I think the first piece of art she did was Kingdom of Hearts fan art.
Aw.
And my parents, I think, took one look at that and were just utterly amazed because it was, for her age, very, very well done. She did wonderful shading. She always seemed to have a very good sense of proportion, even at that age without like formal training.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents took a look at it, and I think they were just one very amazed. And then my dad's just, I think he just sort of realized, oh, my kid can easily do art and then show it to other people because this was also the advent of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in all of that, and also because Photoshop was actually back then new because it was originally meant for professionals.
Yeah.
And here's his little girl, because my sister's 8.5 years younger than me, so she was, oh God, she probably wasn't even 10 when this happened. So you have this like little puny girl teaching herself Photoshop and how to use it very, very well and using a professional tablet.
That's really cool.
So it is, and so I think that stuck with my parents a lot, and they're just like, if she wants to go into design, we will support her going in design. Which fair. I mean, they were fine with me going into literature when I went off to university. And really, you shouldn't be going off to university for literature unless you want to become a lawyer. To be to be humanly honest, um, but I got emotionally blackmailed into going to university. But that's a completely different story altogether.
I remember that story. That
Um,
might be a story for another time, but that is also a funny story.
I don't know. It's so much funny as it's kind of sad.
Yeah, but it's just such
But
a.
yeah,
But yeah. Anyway.
yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's the story of how my parents became amazed at my sister's ability with a tablet. I think my dad was probably one of those people who also didn't have the spatial awareness to actually be able to use it, which is probably the other reason behind it. But my dad has also been one of those people who've been. He's always amazed when there's new technology out. In all honesty, especially if he can relate it to personally or to his own kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just amazes him a lot when he can understand the implications of it.
Yeah.
Because other times he acts like a boomer and you show him something and he doesn't quite understand why this is amazing. Like you remember, I think his name is his channel's name was Devon Supertramp. He's the one who did those Assassin's Creed parkour videos.
Oh, yeah, those were cool.
those were cool. And I remember showing my dad one this at one time, and he's like, "Oh, someone has a lot of time on their hands," and he didn't understand at the time why this was amazing because this was a guy who went through. I think Devin has formal cinema training, and this was a guy who had done this, struck it out on his own, and he actually had ended up going on making more of those type of videos and actually got sponsored at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got invited by who is the publisher for that game?
I think it's EA.
Uh, oh, that suddenly explains a lot.
Ubisoft. No, it's Ubisoft. They have an app. It's Ubisoft.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they got invited by the publisher when they released the Pirate one. They got invited by the publisher to a convention where there was a ship at a dock,
Oh.
and they were invited to do a project there. And like that's really amazing. Um, and I kind of wish my dad sort of understood.
Alexa,
Oop.
stop.
But anyways, I kind of wish my dad understood a kind of amazing potential, especially at the time, because this was the advent of YouTube as well,
Mm-hmm.
of the potential for just new projects, new ideas, new entertainment. That part I think completely kind of whoosh over his head just a bit, unfortunately. But then again, we also have just very different tastes in like entertainment, which I think has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of YouTube, speaking of
Oh
YouTube,
my
and
god. You.
because I can't let you forget.
Okay. I'm gonna get on my angry face. Okay. No, actually, I'm gonna get on the super angry face. Alright.
She's trying so hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I tried to upload a really funny video that I worked really hard on called uh, Hall of the Scuff Queen. It's very funny. About how scuffed the video we tried to make last night was, okay? So YouTube tells me that I cannot properly credit Kevin McLeod or whatever his name is, the guy who does the all of the free sounds on freesounds.com. They tell me that I have to verify that I'm a human being, or that I have to quote unquote grow my channel for 2 months.
And you've been denied twice, I
I've been
believe.
2 times. Well, the first time I tried to do my ID and they were like, it was unsuccessful. You can have a second shot. So this morning I was like, ugh, I'm so mad. I'm not even going to brush my hair. Fine. Whatever. I'm halfway into my work clothes. Whatever. I try to do it. The video upload fails. And they're like, oh, you can try again. I'm like, no, screw it. I'll just wait for 2 months. I will make such good videos, YouTube. Now you've made me angry. So,
This is the worst reason to actually try to grow your channel.
yeah.
Most normal people's like, I want to grow my channel for like, you know, fame, fortune, job, all the usual stuff. And instead, you are going to grow this channel. And by grow, we mean just, post regularly enough so YouTube can't claim that you're not a person.
Yes. I have it scheduled so that
Or
the
you.
Scuff Queen video will post on July 18th. Because I'm a real person, YouTube.
That does mean you.
Hmm?
Yeah, but it's only going to work if you actually continue to post things on this channel.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's why we're making this video, right? I feel like my girl is
Yeah, I know. I told Wera, it's like, I told Wera, let's make a video about this because I think this is hilarious.
Well, I'm glad somebody's having a good time. feel like my girl is scuffing really bad. Is she scuffing? I can't look up because then she gets all weird
Oh, I
face.
mean, at least she is. It's very hard for me to tell because I am aware that I'm on a bit of delay because Discord is very unhappy with the amount of stuff that's currently going on the screen.
Yeah. Well, it's better than she was.
But that's normal for Discord.
Yes, Discord has problems.
Yeah, she's better now. Yeah, it does. I mean, it in the few times we've watched each other play Dredge, it's also had that issue.
Yeah, and
And
some
Dredge
of
is
it.
not even a particularly like high high image stylized game.
Yeah, like. Yeah, I mean, my Dredge doesn't even make my laptop run hot. So, it's not really.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised looking back on it. I'm a bit surprised you managed to do an entire session of Dredge with your avatar and it and Discord not utterly failing.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Also, that's another thing with YouTube because YouTube was like, "Oh, you'll be able to up if after you get verified, you'll be able to upload videos that are longer than 15 minutes." That Dredge video is like an hour. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that was an hour thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know what they're talking. I don't know what they're talking about.
I so here's part of the problem is because because computer ability can only take you because algorithms can only take you so far. We know that YouTube uses a mixture of automated and people to vet things. I think the question becomes is we don't know how their coding works. Because you had mentioned you've technically had your account since 2011. It's
Mm-hmm.
just you never posted anything until more recently. And so the question then becomes is, well, if you've had it for a long time, does that count as you being a person? Or did you actually have to start posting things like it's implied with the called the Mountain King?
Yeah.
The other thing that because it sort of strikes me weird. They say if you grow it enough that you can post an hour thing because for many years now, YouTube has been like slowly gearing more towards long form entertainment rather than the short form entertainment what they first started out with
Mm-hmm.
because they'll pay more if your viewer will stay on for your entire run, especially if it's a long run.
Yeah. I mean, that's why.
So
I mean, that's why a lot of streamers do uh, video streaming because it's so profitable. Like
it
even.
is. It's also probably why some of the background the lo-fi music also tend to do streaming as well.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, what I needed to do was point the light at the webcam.
Oh God, is this the? Do you need what they call it? A ring light?
Well, that's what they told me to get, but there's a part of me that's like, do I really want to be that person who has a ring light?
I and yet it doesn't really surprise me because one you live in a you don't live in a basement. Your room is in a basement though. Your room is in a basement and anyone who's taken a picture in low light or in the dark knows it looks very grainy. So it could very well be the camera's just not picking up very well.
Yeah, even though I have every light on, it's a horror show in here. I'm kind of light sensitive, so this is a little bit of a horror show. Although,
Oh, right. I forgot. You have sensory around lights.
yeah,
just makes certain professions very difficult.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh well. So what are your plans for YouTube in order to
Well,
quote unquote grow your channel? Sorry.
no, no, you're okay. Well, so I tried to make a plan this morning while I was getting ready, but I was too mad. um, so I thought because my original idea for
That's
doing do
that's
what
fair.
my original idea for doing VTubing in the first place was to do ye oldie, but anyway, they're YouTube videos where they're like 3 minutes to do like a vlog style thing. But I'm really bad at. I have a lot of dead air when I talk when Kara is not present. Uh, so we'll just have to see. My little
Yeah,
brother,
we don't know.
yeah, my little brother has decided that he and I are going to play Bigfoot together. So he's already asked me to make him a little talking head that is a dragon.
Okay.
So,
Oh, of course he wants a dragon.
yes. And just to make him mad, I'm gonna give it a wow, I just completely blanked. A trucker hat.
A redneck dragon.
Yes.
Fair.
If he annoys me, I'll put it in a tank top.
Well, you gotta get your kicks up from somewhere.
Yeah. Although with my luck, he'd probably like that.
With his sense of humor, quite possibly.
Yes.
I'm actually mildly amused that everyone around you will not be human and you will be the only human.
Yes.
If anyone is wondering why I'm a cat, it's because I had asked not to be a human. I find I am mildly uncomfortable with the idea of humanoid VTubers, especially because I'm a chubby, short Asian person. So uh, the pretty VTubers, like, I mean, yeah, they're very pretty to look at, but I can't imagine myself being behind a nice-looking humanoid VTuber. It feels weird. Whereas, as a cat, I can definitely lean into the I am just a little gremlin.
Yes.
Because black cats are generally gremlins.
Yes. Especially your cat.
Yes, my cat has been very much a gremlin for the past 2 days. She's been very needy. I kind of don't know why. She's wanted to be close, and when I say close, like she has beds on top of my desks. I have two desks. I have the one in my room, and then I have one in the spare room from because I work from home. And I purposely put cat beds on there so she has a place to be. And 2 days ago, she decided, I don't want to be on the cat bed, but I want to be close to you. So she literally sat right next to my hand, the one that had the mouse. And then she like stared at me like she was going to whack me because I kept whacking my hand into her feet because I need to move the mouse. It's like, sweetie, you need to move. I need to move the mouse. I need to work. Also, please move away so I can read my screen.
you you make a better door
Of
than a
people.
window.
Yeah, so she's been like that for the past 2 days. She's right now sleeping in her cat bed on the desk.
You're gonna
I
have.
kind of feel bad.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Huh?
I was gonna say you're gonna have to send me a picture of her, because people will want to see. I'll just put her like right here.
Sure, I'll send you a picture. Um, so I kind of feel bad because for a while she wasn't actually sleeping on any of these cat beds because she prefers to be on her cat tower
Hmm.
behind me, pretending that she's ignoring me. But then I left for that trip to my uncle's wedding for like 4 days.
She did not handle that very
And
well.
No, I guess not, because now she's always on the desk bed when I'm at my computer. It's fascinating
Yeah,
and
she's
kind of sad, actually.
yeah, because she's like, you left me. How could you do that? I thought you loved me.
And this is probably the reason why I'm not going to really travel that much. That's going to be the ongoing joke. It's like, travel? How can I travel? I have a cat now. Like, I haven't had a cat for several years now.
Yeah, and the here's the thing, okay? Kara is basically like every dad ever who's like, I don't want to get an animal. I don't want to get a cat. She was so mad when she got this cat, okay? I can't believe my sister is making me. Blah, blah, blah. This cat is her whole life now. Literally.
I will be clear when Sherlock passes, I will not be replacing her. I can I deal with the cat pen and everything else as best as I can because I have to. Not because I particularly like to. Also, I have a lot of trouble just changing the whole cat pen. My mother unfortunately has to help me because I am a knob apparently. So, like, that was the reason why I didn't want to have a cat is because I learned through when Shadow was alive that having a cat in a loft with cat litter is kind of difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized as I got older, it's like I kind of just don't want to deal with that again. But then, yeah, as where I mentioned, so my sister moved. My sister had this cat, and she moved to a place where she couldn't bring the cat with her. Um, and I didn't really actually know this was happening. I originally took little Sherlock on because my sister had told me that she was getting like some pipe work done, was afraid that the cat would, run out the hallway. Actually, this cat is a real scaredy cat. She wouldn't run out into the hallway, to be quite honest. She'd hide under the bed and be kind of miserable, but that's neither here nor there. So I took in this cat and found out I was essentially keeping her. So yeah, I wasn't quite happy about it. Um, because that had not been in my plans at all. Now I have a cat. And I've spent a lot of money on because I did not get her spayed when I really should have. My sister didn't get her cat spayed. And I thought I couldn't get this cat spayed because I thought this cat would just run away from me because she doesn't like to be held. So I thought that I would never get this cat into a cat carrier. I have underestimated the fact that this cat's also a really nosy bitch. When I take her to the vet next week, I'm going to bring out the cat carrier and I'm going to put a footstool at the end of my bed and I'm going to put the cat carrier onto the bed and just open it because she is a nosy little bitch and she is most likely going to just stick her nose in wondering what's going on and then I'm going to shove her the rest of the way in.
Eventually she's going to figure that one out.
She's a very nosy cat. You like open drawers downstairs, and if you leave them open long enough, she'll come down to see what is going on because she wants to know what you're doing. So, so yeah, so that is the plan. I mean, granted, I am doing this like several hours in advance of the appointment because I don't trust that I can actually get her to the cat carrier, but that's essentially what we're going to do. You should get a cat.
Me?
Yes.
I have a cat. She's right here.
I am not your cat.
Oh, come on.
I mean, if I was a real cat, I mean, I wouldn't have to, like, go to work.
Ugh,
Be social.
that means I would have to go to work. Ugh. I would rather be a cat.
Yeah, it would actually. What happened?
I was like, did Kara die? And then I looked, no, it was me. I died.